I'm too nervous. You're too comfortable. Please move up. Close, 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 close. Sit right here. Oh, wonderful. Dinner follows, so it's not all is lost. Am I right? Dinner follows? 5:30? No. My background is in Vedanta. I've practiced yoga. I understand yoga. And I wanted to show how the two relate to each other in a kind of formal way, as well as ground them what their similarities are. Oh, there's nobody translating. Okay. Yeah. I expect to hear somebody in German. So here are a rough comparison between the two systems, where they differ. This isn't exhaustive, but it is the main distinctions between them, and they're dramatic. They're quite noteworthy. Patanjali wants us to still the mind, chittas vritti nirodhaha, the cessation of the mind's fluctuation. We do this through tremendous efforts, continually with abhyasa, which is continuity, and vairagya, which is dispassion, not meant for the vast majority of people. Most of us need ethical observances. Most of us need to cultivate sattva to start with. Get rid of our tamas, cultivate the qualities of clarity, and get rid of our inertia, our darkness. We all know where it sits in our brain, in our minds, and it's not an easy inquiry, not an easy effort. Yoga is difficult. Vedanta uses the mind rather than stills it. It advocates inquiry and reflection on truths of the Upanishads, the words of the Upanishads. Completely different idea. Patanjali is dualistic. There's Purusha, the consciousness, Prakriti, nature. Vedanta is non-dual Brahman. Non-dual as opposed to duality. A radical duality is Patanjali. Patanjali opposes many individuals, many Purushas, many selves. Each of us are an individual Purusha. Each of us are our nature is separated from other natures. Vedanta poses one jnana, not many jnanis, one jnana. When realization comes, all individuality is lost. All separation, all distinctions are lost in Vedanta. I'll go through these quick because this is book learning. You can pick up any text and read this, but it's nice to have an outline of it. Realization, Patanjali withdraws the self, withdraws Purusha from Prakriti. Withdraws the self from nature. We'll discuss that more as the talk goes on here. Vedanta believes in oneself alone, we just discussed. The world is real for Patanjali. There's two reals. There's, it's duality. It's Purusha and it's Prakriti, nature and self. For Vedanta, world is mithya. It's an illusion. It's like a dream. The best way to think of Vedanta is that this world is like a dream, constantly changing, very private also. In Vedanta, your whole world, we think that we're all sharing the same experience here, but it's not so. Some of you are interested in what I'm saying. Some of you are ready to fall asleep. Some of you waiting for dinner. All of our perspectives are different, um, 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 totally. You can speak to your wife and she will not know what's in. You can be married for 30 years and she won't know what's in your head. Totally private lives, just like dream, isn't it? Ignorance. Oh, this is interesting. The way ignorance works with Patanjali is that Purusha is in proximity with nature. So the self is close to nature. And because of that proximity, like iron filings on a magnet, Purusha is like the magnet and it draws nature to it. And they're combined that way. As opposed to Vedanta, which is a superimposed. You superimpose the real upon the unreal. We'll talk more about that too. So far, so good. You following? Last thing I have here is they both share the same idea of creation, really an odd idea for most people in creation, is satkaryavad, that the effect is existent in the cause. You never think about that. The easiest way to understand that is a clay pot. You have a ball of clay, and then you mold it into a pot, into a cup, a clay pot. For Patanjali, that's a transformation of the clay. For Vedanta, it's just a change of name. It's all the same. It's still the clay appearing as something different. So it's a transformation compared to an apparent change. Next. Now, discrimination. Okay, so that's how they differ. That's quite clear. However, the two have the same idea about what liberation is, the same idea of what discrimination is in reference to liberation. Discrimination by itself for Sankhya is sufficient. But for Patanjali, it's penultimate. Discrimination requires experience. But to start with, it's still an intellectual understanding of what reality is. So I pulled a couple of quotes out of Patanjali Sutras, which makes that evident. Discriminative knowledge, intellectual understanding, undisturbed, unchanged, is the means for the removal of dukkha. In a few minutes, I am going to tell you what this discrimination is. You will be thoroughly convinced. You'll say, thank you, Chandra, that's really wonderful. Go home, eat your dinner, and you'll forget the whole thing. It has to be undisturbed. That's the key. The undisturbed for Patanjali is through efforts, through samadhi, through control of the mind. Then the discrimination becomes settled and firm. The result of that discrimination is the removal of dukkha. Dukkha is pain. Dukkha is the phenomenological pain that we all suffer. It may be obvious right now, the pain listening to this talk, but soon you'll be eating and you'll be happy again, Pain and pleasure are mixed. If you have, the thinking goes, this reasoning is that if you have pleasure, it's temporary. No pleasure is permanent. No pleasure lasts forever. If you enjoy something, the anticipation of it leaving is painful. If you, I don't know. Oh, I do know. Did you have prasad last night? You had the most delicious prasad, yes? Oh, it was just one. Yeah, look at this. One comment, one affirmation. How many did you have? Two only. Did you want a third? Yes. A fourth? I had three and I went out and I was disappointed. They were all gone, Pleasure is mixed with pain. That's where are we here? Removal of dukkha consists in the purusha sitting in its own nature. If you sit in your own nature, if you are natural, if you are right here and now, there's no pain. You are natural. You're accepting yourself. That's the teaching, that consciousness alone is the removal of pain, because you don't need anything. If you're sitting in your own nature, you don't need anything to make yourself happy. Clear? And the way to get rid of this dukkha is discriminative knowledge, which is, for Patanjali, the recognition of what is purusha, the self, what is consciousness, and at the same time, what is not consciousness. It is the discrimination of the real from the unreal, from nature, which we'll see is unreal, and the purusha, which is real. To understand that difference is the nature of discriminative knowledge. And how do you do it? By verbal testimony and inferential reasoning. How interesting. Patanjali, you yogis never think about that, do you? You never reflect on how it's verbal knowledge. This is verbal knowledge. Listening to the teachers, listening to the text, hearing these words and reflecting on them. Yes? I'll never last 40 minutes. This is, okay. So what then is this Viveka? That's what we have to decide. I hope you're sitting on I hope you're anticipating, waiting expectantly for what discrimination is coming, I promise. This is Shankara's introduction to the Brahma Sutras. It's a classic text. It is actually, for Shankara, it's his definitive text. This is the opening verses of it, the opening sentences of it, the opening sentence of it. To understand Shankara, you must understand this Adhyasa Bhashya, his introduction to the great Brahma Sutras, the great text of analysis. This text takes the Upanishads and defines it for you, poses every possible objection, every possible question, every possible challenge, and assuages them and resolves them. It starts with a very logical inference here. And what is it? The subject. Who is the subject? The subject is the knowing self. The subject is the recipient of all experience. The subject is the experience. Okay? What's the object? Everything else. The object is everything that is known by the subject. Quite clear. The subject is who you are, it's conscious. The object is everything else. And they are opposed. The subject and the object are opposed, just as day and night. There is no combining of day and night. There's no combining of light and darkness. Light is the only existent, yes? Darkness is just the absence of light. There's no thing that's called darkness that covers it. Am I right? So these are opposed just as opposite as light and darkness are. So what is the mistake? Chandra, that's really clear. You couldn't have said it better. I'm so proud of you. But what does that mean to me, Next we go. Who am I? You are the subject. I'm going to change this around a little bit. The body is an object, is it not? The body is an object, and an object cannot be the subject. Holy cow, this body is not the object, is not who I am. This body is an object. You are the subject looking at the body, knowing the body.
thinking that you are, this is the thinking that it is the subject, yes? If I stub my toe, I'm aware of the pain. The pain belongs to the body. The pain itself is an object, it's not me. Because the subject and the object are combined, superimposed according to Vedanta, and in Patanjali, the proximity is sufficient for the subject to be mistaken to be the object. You understand? In Patanjali, just because the subject, the self is close to nature, the body, we take the body to be the self. The pain becomes us. We want to remove, in Patanjali, we want to remove the subject from the object, consciousness from matter, the mind, the consciousness from the physical body. It's not just the body. It's your senses. The senses, too, are just an object. But what is the body? Let's go back to the body. What is the body? Panchakosh? Good. That's a better answer than I was about to give. But what's the body? Annamaya kosha? Do you know Annamaya kosha? It is food. That's all it is. It's food. You're German, it's sauerkraut, huh? That's all you are, sauerkraut. I have eaten more khichdi this last couple of weeks than, I'm khichdi, that's all we are. It's an object, it's khichdi, it's matter, it's the tanmatras, it's the elements, earth, water, fire, air, and space, that's all you are. Thinking that that the body is a conscious being. You see me, look how animated I am. You're mistaking this body for my consciousness. Yeah? Mistake. It's an illusion. That's the discriminative knowledge. And it's not just that I am the body, it's that everything that goes along with the body. I'm an American. I'm a male. I'm a gray-haired old man. Huh? I'm talking, oh my God, I'm talking in front of you. I'm so nervous, yes? I'm sweating in all of this. Just a mistake. The mind, okay, the body, what about the mind? Oh, Chandra, that's conscious, yeah? More food. That's all it is. The mind is just food, my God. Think about it. What else is it? It's the brain is just food. The whole brain is food. Jeez. Oh, yeah, but listen, Chandra, I was brought up, my mom and dad, they taught me music and they taught me to speak, and I've learned all these languages, and I've stood on my head for hours and hours and done so much pranayama. And it's affected my mind, isn't it? Just an object, just material object. All the sense data, and here comes these panchakoshas, these pancha mahabhutas. All the data that comes in through your senses is material, isn't it? It's photons of light that come into your eyes. It's the sound vibrations of my voice that's entering into your ear. Just vibration, material vibrations. That's all it is. The only way that we can communicate is because the 5 elements of matter are gross, and they're attuned to my body, to my elements, to my senses, to my mind, which are also made up of those same elements. The gross elements are taken in by the subtle elements, and we churn them around and they become neurons in our brain. And those neurons store our history, store our background, store our DNA, store from mom and dad and from their mom and dad, all the way back, and their mom and dad, and their mom and dad, back to what? Back to the monkeys, back to monkeys. That's stored in the material matter that we call ourself. Yoga and Vedanta, Patanjali, Samkhya Yoga, Samkhya and Patanjali and Vedanta, same thing. This discrimination is the same. There's power in numbers, you see. If it's just me saying this, you'll say, yeah, but when it's Patanjali saying, Kapila saying, Samkhya and Shankaracharya and Yajnavalkya that Ira was speaking about, and all these great sages of the Upanishads saying the same thing. Start to doubt, start to think, maybe it's true. It makes sense, doesn't it? You're hearing the words and you're inferring. That's the method. That's how we get rid of this. That's really all I have to say, to be honest. That's the discrimination. See, I am this. If I ask any of you who you are, you're going to describe what? You're going to describe your mind. You're going to describe your education. Oh, I speak Spanish, and I speak Portuguese, and German, and English, and my God, how many Indian tongues do you speak to? And my wife is this, and I haven't called my wife. I need to call her. My son is feeling ill, and it's all my, related to the body and the mind. I feel pain. The pain is an object. The pain is just more matter. It's just neurons. These neurons are the same kitchery and sauerkraut. Oh, that's terrible. It's sauerkraut. He's insulting me. I'm sauerkraut. And we spend so much time with this sauerkraut, don't we? Combing our hair and putting on makeup and shaving and what else? Dressing it so pretty, Our sensations, all the feelings that we have, the love. My God, the love. Oh, Chandra, that was okay before you said that. Love? Love is sauerkraut? Oh. I should have stopped a minute ago. I thought I had nothing else to say. Okay, what about realization? What about mystical states? Whoa, mystical states. What is that? More objects. Who's aware of the mystical state? Who's aware of the phenomena that you're observing? The conscious self, the witness in Vedanta. The witness is, it's the Purusha. The Purusha and the witness are the same. The mystical experience that we're all hunting for, yeah? You sit in meditation. I want a mystical experience to transport me, to pull me away. It's wrong thinking. It's indiscrimination. Shankara says in the next paragraph of this Adhyasa Bhashya that the problem here is indiscrimination, because we don't discern the self from what is the not self. This body, this mind, the sensations, everything that's related to it, they're all the not self. The self is the one that is aware, that's conscious. Okay, thank you all. Appreciate it.